Hi, I'm Jay Keaty here live at the Knights Foundry here in Sutter Creek, and we're here with Bob Wolin. And Bob, we heard from Ron that you got this, whatever this is, put together again. So tell us, first, what is it and how did you get it together?
Well, this is a 1902 Smith & Mills planer, and they called them shapers. And this particular unit is called a belt jumping shaper, and it's called that because it has this mechanism here that jerks the belts from forward to reverse. And it's kind of unique in that a lot of machines in this shop are that way, but this particular machine I found on the internet an article, and that's what they called it. And it's 115 years old, and 3 days ago it was pretty much froze up, and Bob Ferry and I worked about 4 or 5 hours and got it freed up, and it's performing quite well.
So tell us, what is the machine's function? What does it do?
Well, you can see here we're planing off a piece of metal, and it was used for cutting any type of metal down to a specific size. And like for castings, when they come out of the foundry, they would be very rough, and this machine would trim them down to a predetermined size. And it's kind of interesting if you're a mechanical person that it goes forward slow and returns fast, and that happens because of the different sizes of the belts. And then the other thing that's interesting is the belts on this side are crossed, and so that reverses it. So when the mechanism is driven by these two stops, kicks the belt over, well, you can see them move here. This is the driven pulley, and that one's freewheeling. And when this belt on this side is the fast one, when it goes to the center, it goes back fast and comes this way slow. Yeah.
Great. All right. Well, and he also told us that you had a hand in restoring the pulley system that's above us. So we know that it used to be high pressure water that used to do it. But what do you have running the pulleys now?
Well, up there at the end of the old original line shaft, the large belt there, or the large pulley, had a belt that went down to the water wheel. It's a 3.5-foot water wheel that developed about 35 horsepower. And I guess like 20 years ago, there was a problem with the water system, and it hasn't been operated since. And so to me, I just love to see things move. So I told Ron I wanted to volunteer to make it run again. And so I got some sources on some of these pieces of equipment and put a 10 horsepower 3-phase motor driving a shaft mounted speed reducer up there, and we're turning the line shaft about 160 RPMs, and that's very close to what the original RPM was. And it's planned in the future that hopefully by the end of this year we'll reestablish the water pressure here and get the water wheel turning again. Then we can just use this electric for a standby unit.
That's great. Well, Bob, thank you so much for talking with us. This is fascinating, absolutely fascinating. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, take care. All right, well, that's going to do it for this round, but be sure to stay tuned to our Facebook page where we'll have all these videos all day. We'll also be live on the radio at 96.5 FM, kvgcradio.com, and 1340 AM. Jay Keaty reporting.